A very simple exercise that you can start with to work towards crow pose is to start in a squatting position. Notice my feet are turned out slightly and my heels, they're not super wide. They could be touching, but I'd suggest having the heels a little bit apart. Notice the knees are wider than my body. Now from this position, all you have to do, lengthen your spine, slowly rock forward so that your weight is on the fronts of your feet, and then rock back, and your weight can be on the centers of your feet or on your heels. So slowly rock forward and rock back. And notice I'm not just doing like this and this. I'm doing it slowly, and while you're doing it, you can focus on feeling your feet so that as you rock forward, you can feel the actual weight shift in your feet. You can feel the weight shift onto the fronts of your feet, or if you don't understand weight shift, you can feel the pressure of your body in the fronts of your feet, and your heels can lift. And then when you rock back, you can notice the weight shifting to your heels. One other thing, it's not essential for Bakasana, but as you rock forward, you can lengthen your spine, look forward, exhale, rock back. If you have trouble getting your heels to the floor in a squatting position, an option for the previous exercise is to kneel down. And the intent is similar. You can lift your hips, and the idea is to rock forward and back. So you can rock forward just enough that your feet can lift off the floor, and then rock back. You can sit down if you like. So here again, do this exercise slowly. Slowly lift up. You'll have to lift up and then rock forward, then rock back, so the weight is probably about here, so your knees and feet press down with equal pressure, and then you can slowly sit down. And even if you can squat, this exercise might be good for you, because in Bakasana you'll be doing a similar thing. You'll be lifting your hips and then rocking forward. And then to get out of Bakasana, you'll be rocking back, and then you can lower your hips. Occasionally when I'm teaching this pose, I get people who do not understand that the shins rest on the back of the upper arms in this pose, that the shins are contacting the upper arms. So one exercise you can practice is simply sitting on your butt and try placing your shin behind the arm like so. So you can see my shin is pressing the back of my arm. So just put the shin in place and then release. Put the shin in place and then release. And then repeat on the other side, like so, like so. And for extra points, right now I'm holding my shin with one hand so I can help pull it behind the other arm. See if you can release this arm. Then what you can try and do, place one shin behind the arm and then the other, and balance on your butt. If you like, magic fingers and magic toes. So this is similar. The arms and shins are in a similar position as to when you'll actually be in Bakasana. Now you can come back to the squatting position. So here again, feet are turned out. So if you're looking at soles of my feet, hopefully they're clean. They're turned out about 45 degrees. The heels aren't super wide. They don't have to be touching, maybe a hand's width apart, somewhere around there. You can vary that to suit your needs. Feet are turned out, knees are wide. Now from here, see if you can get your upper arms in front of your shins and place your hands on the floor. Notice my elbows are not straight, instead they are bent. And from the front, so my shoulders, my knees are wider than my shoulders, and so that my upper arms cross my shins, my elbows move out to the side, and from here I'm placing my hands on the floor. Once you place your hands on the floor, this is a little bit too far forward. I've got space between my arms and my shins, so I'll actually bring my arms back so that my upper arms contact my shins. From there, lengthen your neck. This is actually quite important. I'll show you why a bit later. And then lift your hips. Notice as I lift my hips, I'm actually pulling my hands back a little bit so they stay in contact with my shins. Then from there, just rock forward. So this time, My feet are still on the floor, and then rock back. Sink your hips down if you like. Lift your hips, rock forward, and rock back. Now all I'm doing for this exercise, initially my weight is all on my feet, then as I rock forward the weight is even between my hands and my feet. So right now my weight is over my feet, still over my feet. As I rock forward now my weight is about here, somewhere between my hands and my feet. And I'm lifting my hips. You can try varying the amount that you lift your hips, but in any case, so weight on my feet, weight between my feet and my hands. Rest when you need to. Once you're comfortable with that, and make sure you're not looking down. So when you rock forward, try to look forward. Lift your head, lengthen your neck. So rather than your head being down here, lift your head and look forward. And notice how just by looking forward that lifts my head, and you can imagine that brings more of my weight in front of my hand, so it's easier to lift my butt. So from there the next step is rock forward, and then rock forward a little bit more, and then rock back. Each time you rock forward you can go forward a little bit more. So here my feet are empty, so I can lift my feet down, rock back. That's all Bakasana is rocking forward enough that you can get your center of gravity, your weight, over your hands, so then you can lift your feet. This is as opposed to trying to jump up here. My weight isn't yet over my hands, so this is, unless you want to practice jumping, this is relatively futile. You need to get your weight forward first, and here you can feel your weight, and then rock your weight forward, and then you can lift your feet without having to jump.